Alright guys, welcome back. So I've decided to go with kind of a combination of poses actually. I've already got this drawn up large here. So I've chosen the middle pose here. But I'm going to change the face a little bit. I think I want to incorporate a little bit more of this face onto that body. Totally doable. So here's the larger one that I've started with. I'm going to make some changes. I didn't want to get too far ahead of you guys. I want to make sure that I'm walking you through these steps too. So, that said, let's just kind of get to it. I basically constructed with my C curve, my S curve, a nice tilt and counter tilt to the hips and the shoulders. Rather than having her facing this way, I'm going to have her facing this way. So, little center line indicating which way her head is turning. And eye line that tilts kind of down because she's going to be kind of coy and smart about this little pose. And something else I want to do here with I want to really get that shoulder swooping down. And now this is given an effect of, let me grab a blank sheet here so I don't draw over top. It's not just from shoulder to shoulder. It's going from shoulder to shoulder. It's coming a little bit more in perspective rather than, even though it was at a tilt here, it was still very much flat. I want to bring that shoulder up. And that drops the upper arm down, get that elbow kind of high, kind of confident. And if this shoulder is swinging closer to camera, then her breastbone, something that indicates her middle of her rib cage here, is going to push farther this way. So here we're just finding medial lines, and I'm just going to come back to this here. If you had, like, let's just say we're going to mesh two shapes like this, and that this is the surface of that one, and this is the surface of that one. Well, you can get a nice twist on that. Right? You know what I'm saying? You find this one faces this way, that one faces that way. You get a nice twist, and that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to find the middle of this voluminous piece that is her rib cage. I'm going to find the middle of this abdomen, and I'm going to find the middle of her hips. And her hips, I'm going to favor this knee to come in front. So you've got like a real twist on her body. So that right down the pelvis, I've got this exaggerated pose. That's a nice strong pose. I think something else I want to do differently here with the arm too is, rather than down so low, I'm going to have it a little more up like this, and I'm going to have her hanging something off of just a finger. Kind of like that, because that's a lot daintier, a lot more flirty. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to introduce to you another tool of my trade, is a colored pencil. This one is it's a Pentel. It's metallic, and I don't want to tell you guys it's the most awesome thing because I think it's discontinued. So regardless, though, everyone's going to have their favorite tool. The reason why I liked this one is not because it's metallic and sparkly, but because it's a 1.3 millimeter. It's good and thick, a little thicker than my lead pencil, but this lead pencil will erase quite readily, even quite well with lines this dark with a kneadable eraser. I can definitely get them erased with a nice hard rubber eraser. But this color doesn't tend to erase away so easily. So when I'm starting to choose the lines out of this kind of beautiful mess, I'm going to pick the lines that I'm going to commit to, and then that way afterwards when I erase the whole thing, all my pencil lines will disappear, but that color line will stay. I don't mind drawing in blue. I've got this in various colors. Also, straight up pencil crayons work quite well. They pretty much don't erase worth a damn. So if you're wanting to have a secondary tool, you can work with ink, but ink is so permanent. Even I'm scared of ink. Okay. So there, just strengthen up that pose. I think just still building this. Now I'm going to talk to you about construction here. With the shoulder as a ball joint. I'm just building the arms as like cylinders. And here's another ball for the elbow. Forearm tends to be like a tapering cylinder there. And then we're just dealing with wrist and palm. So there's shoulder. Is this showing up? I hope. Cylinder for the upper arm. A ball for where that elbow joint is going to go. And then another cylindrical piece here, tapering for forearm. Alright. Collarbones join at the top of here's breastbone here, right? Collarbones join at that center and out to the kind of top of the shoulder. So there's a nice deep V for her collar. Now, pec muscles, I always block them off as squares because that's actually quite what they are. They adhere to the breastbone and go out. Let's get my stack piece of paper here again. Rib cage. Pec muscles adhere here and they go out and also attach to the shoulder, somewhere there in the shoulder joint. Right? So I always find the basis of the breasts, and I see it done all too frequently where the pose is fine and the face looks flirty and cute, but some artists just can't seem to get breast looking natural. So there, I'm going to erase away some of those bulky lines. Find that breastbone. Find where her pecs live. And there, that's going to be the base of one breast. And because this shape is turning so far in perspective, that's just the base of the breast. Now I'm going to build some actual breasts onto that. Some good volume. Eventually I'll come back in here with my colored pencil and pick some of those lines to commit to. There we go. I'm going to bring that line down. Her little belly button will follow that line. Now, her rib cage still comes right around there. So I'm just going to have that jut out, come in a little bit more at right at the waist, nice tiny little waist, and then hip. Now where the thigh joins here, and because I'm going to favor this whole leg, basically, another cylinder here. There's another cylinder there. I'm just going to be sensitive to that joint right there and just show that little dip. I'm going to go in with my blue line because I'm already quite sure of this. And then you guys will see here. That blue will erase some, but not near as much as that pencil. So awesome. Okay, we'll lightly do away with some of those. I'm going to keep constructing. So even though I'm choosing this leg to be in front of, this knee in front of the other, her right knee is jutting out closer to camera. And that back leg is nice and straight. A little bit of bow out the side here because all of her weight's being shifted there. Okay. Now it helps to look at human anatomy books. It certainly helps to go to life drawing classes where there's a model, can be nude or clothed. Okay. I'm just going to narrow that space a little bit. And I don't know what costume she's going to be wearing yet, but that could very well be covered right over. Knee joint, lower leg. The skinniest part of the ankle is actually not at the ankle itself, because there is a little bone here that will indicate the ankle. The skinniest part is just above that. Nice, dainty. We all know how we feel about thick ankles, so so get that skinny part out. I'll come back to the feet in a little bit. Alright, so there's just working on a little bit more of the pose and a little bit more of the construction and getting the proper anatomy and proportions right. I think I'm going to actually, let's pause that.